What's going on, everyone? It is the Derp, and today I'm bringing you an absolute fire, pun intended, Prismatic Titan. This build is extremely well-rounded and can be customized in a variety of different ways with weapons of your choice and is extremely easy to use. You can generate tons of orbs of power, get your super back in as little as a minute, literally, and of course wreck the battlefield with a variety of different elements and different abilities that come your way. One of the best things about this build is its use of the class ability. So if you've been looking for a Prismatic Titan build centered around solar, this is the build for you. It features a fan favorite exotic. It's got a lot of huge DPS potential depending on how you want to set it up. But the way that I've got it here, I think is one of the best ways. So if you do find anything helpful in this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you know a guardian out there who could benefit from a Prismatic solar-based Titan build like this, make sure you share this video or send them my way. My goal is to help as many as possible. And of course, if you guys are looking for a non-toxic gaming community, hop into my Discord and I'll talk about that later in the video. All right, let's get this started. Getting us started on this insane Prismatic Titan, we are of course going to go with Hammer of Soul. Throw your hammer at foes. Upon impact, your hammer shatters into explosive molten shards. I'm not sure if there's a more chaotic super for Titan right now, given where the artifact is, but this is the way. For abilities, it's imperative you put either the Rally Barricade or the Towering Barricade. I prefer the Rally Barricade because I can't shoot through it with the armor that I have. The Strafe Lift Shield Throw is going to be a really good option here because we're going to pair that with mods on our helmet to give us bonus super energy and of course orbs of power. Thermite Grenade is just going to add to the overall destructive nature of this build. Tons of fire everywhere, Scorch on top of Scorch on top of ignitions. It's absolutely insane once you get the rhythm down. For aspects, we're going to go with Dranger's Lash. Activate your barricade ability to create a ripple in reality that travels forward along the ground, suspending and damaging the targets it hits. This is going to pair with our exotic armor of choice, which I'm going to get to here in a second. But basically, you're going to have a 2-for-1 with your class ability. Next up, we're going to have Diamond Lance. Shatter or defeat targets with abilities or stasis weapons to create a stasis lance. Throw the lance to freeze targets on impact. Slam the lance to the ground to freeze targets in a small area. You can't go wrong here. And with these two selections, we also get 3 fragment slots, which honestly, for a lot of the builds that we're going to probably be using, you're not going to always get 6. For fragments, we're going to start off with Facet of Purpose. Picking up an Orb of Power is going to give us, of course, Restoration. Restoration, you generate health and shields over time. It cannot be interrupted by taking damage. We're also going to be generating other elemental pickups as well. Next up is Facet of Sacrifice. While you have an Arc Solar or Void buff ability, Final Blows grant bonus Darkness Transcendence energy. You're going to be able to pop Transcendence extremely often with this build, and this is part of the reason why. Light buffs include Amplified, Bolt Charge, Cure, Radiant, Restoration, Devour, Invisibility, and Overshield. And like I said, we're going to have a number of elemental pickups that we're going to be getting as well. Defeating targets affected. Next up, Facet of Devotion. Defeating targets afflicted by stasis or strand debuffs grant bonus light transcendence energy. This is going to pair very nicely with our previous fragment because with Dranger's Slash and our exotic armor of choice, we are going to be able to double down on strand as well as the stasis lance aspect as well. So we're going to be generating huge amounts of darkness and light transcendence energy with virtually very little effort. Next up, we have Facet of Honor. Collecting an elemental pickup or destroying a tangle grants transcendence energy of the same type. Plus 10 to melee, so let's go over the elemental pickups we're going to be getting from this build. Of course, number 1 on the list, Fire Sprites. When you pick up a Fire Sprite, it grants you grenade energy. You are also going to be getting Void Breaches. When you get multi-kills with your shield throw, Void Breaches grant class ability energy, thereby refreshing your barricade more often. Next up, of course, you're going to get Stasis Shards if you get a multi-kill with your thrown stasis lance. That is also going to help. And then last but not least, you do have the chance to generate tangles because you're using Dranker Slash as part of the aspect. So there is always a chance, depending on what weapon you have in the kinetic slot, that you'll be able to generate tangles as well. Next up, we have Fast of Awakening. Rapidly defeating targets with light or darkness damage or super final blows generates elemental pickup of the matching damage type. So again, we just went through this. I'll go through it real quick again. Fire Sprites, Void Breaches, Stasis Shards, and Tangles. Basically, almost all of them except for Ionic Traces, but that's okay. We're not going to be missing them too much, quite honestly. Last but not least, Facet of Balance. Rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy. Rapidly defeating targets with darkness damage grants grenade energy. So we're going to be refreshing our abilities virtually instantly, depending on how busy the activity is. And even if not, our cooldowns are absolutely going to be insane as far as quick return. And yes, that also includes your super. For stat distribution, I recommend that you focus on super, melee, grenade, and weapons in that order. It is not imperative that you have a huge bump to your health, and it is not imperative that you have a huge bump to your class, because we are going to be getting restoration regularly, so having a 35 in your health isn't going to be the end of the world. And of course, in class, we have a font mod that's going to benefit us from just a single orb pickup, which I'll go over here in a second. If you have your stats selected like this, your melee is going to do an additional 2% to PvE combatants, and your melee energy is going to be 190% with a cooldown of 45 seconds. So virtually less than a minute, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, or volcano, I guess I should say. If you have your grenade maxed out at 100, or where I've got it 98, I'm just a little bit short. Your ability cooldown is 1 minute and 2 seconds, and the grenade energy you regenerate is 184%. Just like with your melee, it's almost 200% regen rate. Absolutely ridiculous. If you focus on your super is going to increase 1.4% damage at 104, and your super energy recharge rate at 100 is going to be 190%. Weapon damage, it is a little bit shorter than I want it to be, but reloading and handling plus 7.2%, and overall damage is going to increase by 10.8%. And if you are using certain weapons, depending on if they get the seasonal buff to them for weapon damage, that's only going to add to that. For weapons, first up on the list is going to be Faustus Decline. I got this rolled with Demolitionist and Headstone. It is an excellent weapon. It takes advantage of the bonus that you get for the new seasonal artifact. But if you don't have one of these, you can absolutely put on Tina, you can put on the Call, and you of course can put on, if you have a nice mint retrograde. All of these are excellent options, and I enjoy using them all. In the energy slot, we're going to go with the BXR Battler. This is a personal choice of mine. There are options that you can use as well. Roll this with Demolitionist and Incandescent, and it's going to be fire on top of fire and getting your grenade back as quickly as you humanly possibly can. You could also substitute that out with the Amit. You could go no hesitation, and if you got an Ahab Char that has the new Scorching modification on it, you can see this one doesn't, so I'm not using it. You will be able to benefit from the artifact as well as the fragments that you have picked for your build anyways. Up in the heavy slot, we're going to go with Dragon's Breath. Yes, I'm aware that power level is extremely low. However, to be fair, I have been infusing tons of weapons, so I don't exactly have a lot left over as I go. I'm just trying to experiment with builds. But Dragon's Breath, Scorch on top of Scorch, on top of Ignitions. I don't really think this needs any introduction, but this is going to be your crown jewel, especially when you're facing majors and, of course, bosses. For our armor, our exotic of choice is going to be Kepri's Horn. Solar Final Blows recharge your barricade while you have a solar super equipped. Casting your barricade unleashes waves of solar energy that damage and scorch targets. Combatants damaged and guardians defeated by these waves are enveloped in a sunspot. So if you've never tried this out before, your play with Drenger's Lash is not only going to be a suspension detonation from your barricade, it's also going to scorch those targets that get caught in that suspending blast at the same time. So not only are you going to be able to deal with different champs in this way, but you're also going to be able to just absolutely start literally a fire wave across a very busy battlefield if you find yourself in one. For the modifications, whatever general armor mods you need in this first slot, go ahead and put that on. Make sure you're mindful of your cooldowns. Again, right now where Bungie has it, you got to at least get to 85 to be at the old 100. However, hopefully soon in the future, that will be reduced down to 70. So keep that in mind. For the helmet, go ahead and put on your heavy ammo finder. Go ahead and put on your thermodynamic siphon, or put on the solar strand version, depending on which weapon you want in your kinetic slot. And I recommend putting on a hands-on. You don't necessarily need this to get your super back insanely quickly because it is a roaming super, but it's just a nice little cherry on top. You could absolutely drop this and bump up your weapon damage as well, and it won't affect too much. I just want to be able to use that throwing hammer as often as possible and create as many sunspots as often as possible so me as well as my teammates can reap the benefits. In the gauntlets, go ahead and throw on a heavy-handed and a firepower mod. We're going to get orbs of power from each of those, and then one of the nice cherries on top will be the fastball. Being able to chuck your thermite grenade a little bit further out in the distance means you can cause the carnage further up the line of a group of enemies while you deal with the ones that are right in front of you. For the chest, go ahead and put on 2 elemental damage resistances. Go ahead and throw on a solar ammo generation mod. Again, this is mainly for your heavy ammo. If for some reason you wanted to switch out Dragon's Breath for something else, which I don't know how, it's just how you would want to do that. It's literally free Scorching Ignitions on top of Scorching Ignitions. You would switch it out for the ammo that you want, but I think Dragon's Breath is the play here. And there's at least one other build that I can vouch for that as well with our Titan. For the legs, go ahead and put on Innervation, Invigoration, and Absolution. Make sure that you're picking up your orbs of power so you can reap ultimate benefits from them. And last but not least, your Titan mark, go ahead and put on the class font. So every time that you gain an armor charge, you get a plus 30 right away to your class ability, which again should technically put you to 100% regen rate. Instead, it's going to put you slightly below that. So your second orb of power, I mean, we're talking like, I mean, the class ability cooldown is almost negligible, to be quite honest. You're going to be getting it so fast, it's not really even going to cross your mind that you don't have it, unless you are absolutely just trying to purposely spam your abilities on every single ad that you don't know how to deal with. Put on Distribution and put on Bomber. Distribution, of course, reduces all ability cooldowns when you use your class ability in your targets. And Bomber, I want my grenade back faster because, quite honestly, the more fire, the better. For our artifact, go ahead and put on Anti-Barrier Scout and Pulse. I have Unstoppable Sidearm and Hand Cannon, but that's just based on what I might use in the kinetic slot. And then you can go ahead and throw an Overload Rapid Fire if you decide you want to use an auto rifle. In the second column, go ahead and put on Rapid Precision Rifling. You could also put on one with Frost if you want to, if you do end up using a different stasis weapon. Put on Flame Fiber and Freeze so that you can combine solar and stasis siphons into one. Fever and Chill, probably the most important one on this list. You get yourself Radiant. I mean, it just continues and continues and continues. And then Refresh Threads, picking up an elemental pickup, matching your subclass element, or Tangle while you have a strand super grants energy to your least charge ability. So in theory, I guess technically that should be your class ability, but all your abilities are basically going to refresh in under a minute at tops. We're talking seconds upon seconds until you have all three if you're just going crazy. Next up, Elemental Coalescence. Defeating targets has the chance to create an elemental pickup, matching your equipped super element. Cauterized Darkness, Stasis, or Strand debuff. Non-boss combatants take increased solar damage from all sources. This is a no-brainer with the aspects that we have and the weapons we have picked. Threaded Blast, destroying a tangle with strand damage increases the radius of the explosion and its damage. these are probably going to be your top three. You could also make an argument for Elemental Days or Shoulder to Shoulder because of the barricade you're going to be using. And of course, Elemental Days is going to be based on if you're going to see champions regularly. In the final column, Radiant Shrapnel is the number one I would suggest. And of course, while Shield Crush is up there as well. Shield Crush is pretty much going to be non-negotiable for me on just about every one of these builds. I can't see a situation in which I want to take this off unless the next major update has just an insane amount of expansion options for this fifth column. But these two are going to take the cake because, of course, you want to stay radiant and you want to create solar projectiles that, again, it's not as cool as that void cloud that used to rain down on combatants, what was it, a season or two ago, but it is still very, very useful. And I've noticed that if I just don't do anything for a while, the tick damage just keeps going and going and going, and that's what you want. So one of the reasons why I think you should try this build is, hey, if you love solar, if you love watching things catch on fire, and you also happen to like Titan, but maybe don't know how to pair the two together, which, I mean, quite honestly, this season is extremely easy to pick a different, I mean, so many different builds that you could put with Solar Titan. This is the way to go. Solar Titan is a Titan. I mean, I'm not sure if there's going to be a more fun Titan in the game right now, quite honestly. Arc had its time in the sun, in the spotlight last season, but I think Solar Titan is going to be the way to go. Of course, with Prismatic, you unlock a bunch of different add-ons that you can add on top of solar abilities, and when you pair that with different things like Drenger's Lash, of course, you can do different things with the artifact when you have Prismatic on. It just makes for an absolutely bonkers Titan build. So if you're looking for a way to create a really great Titan that's not going to take a lot of work to master, you can start farming for your armor, start kind of divvying your stats up. If you have all your stats somewhere around 80, okay, we'll just use the plus or minus 10, and you're somewhere around 80 in like these four, strength, discipline, super, and of course weapons. I mean, this build is going to work. Yeah, you might not get some bonus damage, and yeah, you might not get 190% return energy. But again, am I really hurting for that extra 6% with my grenade when I'm already at 184? No. And honestly, after Bungie fixes their issues with ability recharge rate, this build is going to be even more disgustingly good, which I can't wait for. So I'm definitely saving this, and hopefully by then I've got a much better Ahab chart that I can put on instead of my BXR Battler. But even if I don't, I'm not hurting for the seasonal bonuses. You see right here, I've got 4 out of 5 damage resistance. The Kinetic Weapons slot is plus 4%. I'm not missing anything else on the energy slot and the power slot, but if you do get some better armor rolls, you could absolutely bump this up to about an 80, get yourself about 12 to 14-ish% extra damage, and it's just going to be absolutely bonkers. And then if you happen to get lucky enough with the armor set bonus, you can sometimes get some minor benefits like this one. I got primary ammo weapons, I get increased reload speed, and then for the tech sec, you deal significantly increased kinetic damage, combatant shields. Even if I didn't have this, it really wouldn't matter because I'm cycling through these weapons a bunch anyways. And quite honestly, the gameplay that you saw with this sidearm, I've also tried this with the Call and Tina, and I don't really care about that extra 4% damage, especially it's a primary weapon. I just wanted to see how that run would go, quite honestly. You see, I don't even have a mod on it, but anyways, lots of fun with Titan and Solar this year for sure, or at least for the rest of this season. So if you did find anything helpful in this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you know a Guardian out there who could benefit from a build like this, loves their Titan, loves Prismatic, and wants to make the beastliest Titan they can think of, make sure you share this video with them or send them my way. My goal is to help as many people as possible. As always, I will have a dim link in the description, and if you guys are by chance looking for a non-toxic Discord community to be a part of, I highly recommend hopping to my Discord. There's a lot of activity in there, a lot of really great people that are just looking to help with the power grind, help you, achieve the highest tier gear possible. They're willing to farm with you. They're willing to, do campaign missions with you. It's just a really solid community. It's really turned out very well. It hasn't even been a year yet. And we've got, a very active community that just is filled with some really good-hearted people. So shout out to my Discord. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to offer this literally every single build video or just video in general that I do. So I'm going to switch over to the final boss fight here, and then you can see this thing really in action. So Kepri's Horn, hey, we knew solar was on the way, so people are out there finding ways to just put solar on top of solar on top of solar, and Prismatic allows you to do that very easily while blending other elements in the build as well. So this is going to be probably a popular style build with Kepri's Horn. There's other options in the Titan arsenal as far as exotic armors, but again, we're only in week 2 of this this season, or fully completed week 2 in this season, and people are still in the power grind. They're still looking for, what archetypes are going to suit them best, and this is just one of those things where, it's going to be an experiment. So Kepri's Horn, been around for a while, one of the fan favorites of Titan lovers everywhere, especially solar Titan lovers, and this one does not disappoint. You can put this exotic armor in a variety of these Titan builds and have a lot of success with. So anyways, I enjoyed making this video for you guys. Hopefully it helps somebody out there, and if you know anyone out there who's looking for a build like this, feel free to share it with them. My goal, of course, is to help as many people as possible. So I will see you guys next time for a possible another Titan build. Stay tuned. Take care, guys.